Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Purple and Gold Hoops podcast. Excuse me, I got tongue-tied. Episode 17, I believe it is. As always, Adam.
This is Kevin.
And we're going to come back and talk about the last week's games. We predicted Philly, Milwaukee, and the Clippers. Kevin and I are recording about a day or so late, though, so we're going to talk about the Nets as well. I think. Were we both wrong last week?
We were wrong. We predicted
we said 2-1, right?
Yeah. I went 2-1 with the win over the Clippers.
I went with the Bucks being the win. But it's good that we were wrong.
This is a great weekend.
Yes.
Great weekend.
It would have been a lot better had Simmons and Embiid played.
True.
Because I kind of took the shine off the Philly game. It was kind of boring. The Lakers blew them out, as we expected, given Simmons and Embiid didn't play. That's 2 All-Stars. Plus, they had another injury. I forget guy's name. He's in the starting lineup. He's in concussion protocol, though.
Oh, I thought you were going to mention Al Horford.
No, not Al Horford. I'll look that up right now. But Philly was basically without 3 starters. And anytime a team is without 3 starters, you know there's blood in the water, and they're probably not going to play very well. The final score was 120-107. Lakers won. LeBron had 22, 14, and 7 in 34 minutes, 9 for 16 from the field, 2 for 5 from 3. AD dominated 37 and 13.
That was surprising.
4 for 5 from 3?
No.
I like seeing that too.
The 4 from 5 from 3, that was surprising as well, but the most surprising part was the fact that he completely dominated Al Horford.
Mm-hmm.
And Al Horford is known as
an elite defender as far as bigs go.
And he made him look he made him look like he belonged in the G League. I mean, 37 points.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not a good game as a quote unquote elite defender. And then to come back with only 8 points of your own, it just made it seem
he's not much of a scorer though. I agree he got dominated, but he's not. Don't get it twisted. He was not a scorer in Atlanta. He was not a scorer in Boston.
He's not a scorer.
He's a good all around player.
If you're gonna give up 37, you better put something on it.
Yeah. Who else stuck out for the Lakers? Avery Bradley, 10 points. Only other starter in double figures. Off the bench, they did have Dwight Howard and KCP in double figures with 11 and 10 points respectively. So that was good to see. I was very happy that they did not let this guy Shake Milton go off on them like the Clippers did. Let me tell you guys, he played the Clippers, I think it was the night before or their previous game before the Lakers. It was against the Clippers. And Shake Milton from the Sixers literally had his career high by halftime. Or damn close. I think he was like 5.
Halftime?
At halftime, I think he had 26 points, and his career high was 31 or something like that.
God.
So he was like just about at, and he just lit them up. He also, this is very under the radar, he also now holds the record, all-time record for most consecutive three-pointers made.
After that game?
He made 14 in a row. Well, over the course of like 3 games, 4 games.
Okay.
Yeah. But he made 14 in a row, and then he finally missed one against the Clippers. But he lit them up for damn near 40. And this guy was in the G League last year.
Shut up. I mean, I heard about it. I didn't want to believe it.
Dude, I texted you during it.
I was like...
I was texting you.
Maybe he was coming off the bench, and...
but now he's starting
and
because
he was
of the
scoring
injuries.
on...
No,
what's that one dude that everybody scores on the Clippers?
Shaman?
Yeah, Shaman. Everybody scores on him. He's going to be the biggest liability when it comes playoff time.
Hey, they got too many options. So he won't be on the floor. We'll get to them, though.
If you want to stretch the floor with that team, he's going to be on the floor.
Yeah. He's one of their best three-point shooters.
Yeah, did you hear Look, I got this from SportingNews.com. Do you know why Shake Milton has that nickname?
They said it on the broadcast something about milkshakes when he was a kid.
Now his dad's nickname was Milk.
Yeah.
So
they called him Shake.
Yeah.
I
thought that was so cheesy.
It's also not his legal name though. They did mention his biological.
It's so cheesy.
Government name, I should say.
My dad's nickname was Milk, so my name is Shake.
Like, it don't even make sense unless you're talking about both of them.
Yeah, I know. Hey, whatever. I mean, Shake Milton, that's kind of cool nickname. As long as you don't mention the story. Just don't mention the story.
It's different. But he had 12 points, 2 for 6 from 3 in 29 minutes. The one that did kill them was Glenn Robinson, the third. 25 in 31 minutes on 10 for 15 from the field and 3 for 5 from 3. Now, he was a -2. Everybody on the Sixers was a -2.
Everybody was.
Except for Korkmaz, who was a 0.
He was a +0.
I hate... Why do you put the plus in front of the 0?
You know,
you're not positive.
It looks better than negative. He was like, hey, all y'all suckers were negative.
AD,
good game.
AD was a +30. Somehow LeBron was -2. Avery Bradley played well. As far as analytics,
he's been
+24. Yeah,
been balling.
I saw on tonight's game that like over the last 5 games or something, he's like 52% from the field and 50% from 3.
Yeah, he's been balling
like
crazy.
That's a sniper right there.
Yeah,
like this has to be the hottest he's ever been in his entire life. Markieff Morris -16.
I think this was his second game though, right?
He
seems. I mean, even tonight, he seems like he's catching up. Like he's playing catch up.
No, I believe this was his 1, 2, 3. That would have been his 4th game.
4th game.
Because I think his first game was against the Warriors.
I'm not really worried about him because he does all the little things. He's like another Caruso.
Right.
Sometimes I don't need a chief out there. I just need somebody to do the little things. Can you grab a board? Can you make the right pass?
Look, if he comes in, he brings some toughness and physicality. I'm all with it.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think it was last week. I don't think he's very talented, him or his brother. I don't think they're very talented. But that's not to say they can't be good role players. Like, they still have attributes that they can provide to the team. I just think as far as talent level goes, they're not very talented.
You talking about talent as in scoring? Talent
as in, like, knowing how to, like, play basketball on an intricate level. Now, if you want to send them out there, is 6 extra fouls, go bully somebody, be physical, scare somebody, intimidate. Those are good qualities.
It's messed up.
I don't think they're very good basketball players. Sorry. I mean, clearly they're better than me because they made it to the league, but, I mean...
I know, it's not like they're sitting here in flip-flops.
Yeah, part of it is genetics, though. Excuse me, I'm not 6'8". My bad. I chose this, right? But yeah, who am I to talk bad about a millionaire that plays basketball for a living? But he still had a bad game, -16.
Anyways, so Kyle Kuzma had a pretty good game. I really like what he's been doing lately. I think it's, ever since he dyed his hair black.
Oh, I was so glad. I was so glad when I saw him come out, and I'm like, oh my God, he dyed his hair.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Because I got tired of looking at it. But honestly, it was to the point where, like, when he first did it, it was a shock to me. And then you know how you kind of see something enough that you start to get used to it?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I started to get used to it and accept it, but then when I saw he dyed it back, I was so thankful because I didn't have to look at that anymore. Like, because it did not look right at all. Like, it hurt your eyes. It hurt my eyes. I don't know about you, but it hurt my eyes.
Well, whatever. He's gonna do what he's gonna do.
I mean, got him a date. Apparently.
With who?
Vanessa Ann Hudgens. Remember that?
Really?
Yeah, he had the blonde hair at that time.
I ain't with that. I ain't with that. Anyways, LeBron James had a really good game. I mean, he's been, LeBron's been. It feels like I'm watching the old LeBron, And I almost feel bad for making all those comments earlier in the season.
What comments? Refresh me. I know what they are, but refresh me.
Comments like, man, you need to be more aggressive. You need to...
That's not the one I'm looking for.
Which one? Stop shooting threes?
No. It's 3 words. Old man LeBron.
Oh.
That's the one I was sitting on.
Because it seems, at this point, it seems like he's really been holding out, waiting, like, not trying to waste his energy.
Yeah.
And now he's like really attacking the rim. Now he's directing traffic. Now he's being aggressive. He's attacking the rim. I feel like I'm watching LeBron James of Cleveland.
Yeah, well, I feel like that comes with age because when you're young, you have this abundance of energy and you're able to go out there and just do it.
Just run.
You don't think about it, like because tomorrow I'm gonna wake up, I'm gonna be cool. It's the same thing. Now that he's getting older, he's realizing that I can't do this every day anymore. I can't even do this 41 games out the year. I gotta kind of chill back if I'm looking at the playoffs.
Yeah.
Now, if it's all about the regular season, you want me to go all out, but come playoffs, don't expect anything.
True.
And that's not how legacies are made, especially not for the superstars. So he's putting the importance on the playoffs and the championship, obviously. But he's been a lot more aggressive, to your point, and I'm loving it. And his free throw attempts have went up.
Yeah, because he's attacking the
drastically.
rim.
Yes. The offense looks more fluent when he's on the floor.
Yes, it does.
They're winning more games against better competition.
No complaints.
So as far as LeBron, I ain't got nothing bad to say about that man this week.
No.
Normally I have something negative to say, but...
Normally.
Yeah. This week I haven't... I mean, hell, he's winning Player of the Week and Player of the Month. And
I'm pretty sure he'll be... Yeah.
He might be in the MVP conversation now. Yeah.
He should be. I mean, damn, if you can't put him in after this weekend.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty boring game against the Sixers, though. They did have one player, I forgot who it was. I'm bad with names, I'm sorry, y'all. Big man, Pell, that's what it was, for the Sixers. Let me get his first name for you guys.
That was 0 points, 3 minutes.
Norvell Pell. He missed 2 back-to-back layups. So, and he's 6'10". He missed a layup, got the offensive rebound, because everybody had expected it to go and they kind of cleared the paint. He went back up with nobody around him and missed it for a second time from like 3 feet away from the rim.
Maybe he was nervous. Maybe that just wasn't his day.
I mean, I hope so, but ugh. And then he immediately came down. Lakers got the rebound after the second missed one. He came down. And you know what they did to him?
Went after him.
Dumped the ball into AD. Clear out. It was so messed up, bro.
It's like one of those moments, hey, this guy's soft. Get him.
And what AD do when he got 2 points? Even the announcers mentioned it, like, this has been a bad minute or two for him. Like, bro, it was so dirty.
Well, it explains why he only played 3 minutes. Coach is like, hey, come over here.
0 for 2. That's why he's 0 for 2, bro. Those 2 missed layups.
That was his chance. Sometimes you get one chance.
Something, man. Something. But not a very fun or interesting night. It was fun because the Lakers won. They were in control the whole game, too. I believe at one point they were up by 25. Or something like that.
I mean, they had nobody, though. I mean, normally Ben Simmons directs the traffic. Joel Embiid
that's why it was so nonchalant. You know, like I said, the shine was taken off once Embiid and Simmons were announced that they were out. Now, if they'd have won this game with both of them playing, that's a big win. That's something to write home. Like, this is a lottery team without those two, you know?
Worse than that.
How far down you think they would be? Top 5? Top 5 pick? If they didn't have Simmons and Embiid?
At least. I mean, you had Horford, but, as you said before, he's not a
They
scorer.
still got Tobias Harris.
Get Tobias Harris. He's gonna
He's a
score.
good player, but he's not a star.
He's gonna score. He's not gonna defend. They would look like someone like the Nets.
Oh, you think? Well, the Nets are 7th in the East, so they're not a lottery team.
With one less star, though. Think about it. If a team like the Nets with Dinwiddie, but without LeVert,
Okay.
you need that other playmaker.
Yeah, I mean,
So I think
I do like Thibault from the Sixers though.
I don't like any of them.
As a defender, he can defend. I watched the Clippers game against the Sixers. I watched the Sixers against the Lakers.
Mm-hmm.
He's a hound on the perimeter, and he plays those passing lanes very well. Like, his instincts defensively are off the chart. Now, he's not very good offensively, but he'll go lock somebody down.
Those are all your guys. All your guys.
Bro.
Have you noticed that?
Bro, I like that physical style of play, man.
All physical defenders that can't score for the lick of them.
Nah, I like scores too. I like Melo. But I only need about one or two of them, man. Like, give me one or two of them. Give me one
What's
or two.
the name of the game? The name of the game is to outscore your opponent.
Give me one or two elite scorers and a bunch of defenders. I bet you I'm going to win. Because you can't score. So, okay, I can't score
like
either.
The Detroit Pistons when they beat the Lakers.
I've told you this before. Who would I be a fan of if I was born in the 80s? The bad boys, right? Yes, that's the style I like, man. that's what I want to see. Like, I'm tired. I'm not getting into that.
I'm trying to massage my head to make sure it's all right.
Kevin thinks I lost my mind every time he talks to me. I'm sure he'd be sitting here like, why did I agree to do this podcast? This dude is off his rocker. But you got anything else?
No.
I'm over it.
Let's go to the Bucks.
All right. The Bucks. The Bucks.
The big time game.
Oh, the big time games coming up. LeBron beat Giannis.
Yes.
Woo.
Oh.
They came out here and the Lakers beat them by 10, 113, 103. LeBron was guarding Giannis down the stretch.
Oh.
Actually taking on the defensive assignment. It was guarding Giannis. You don't shut Giannis down, but he did a pretty good job. Giannis's numbers were 32, 11 rebounds, 6 assists, 10 for 21 from the field, and 1 for 6 from 3. I told you he was not going to make no 5 threes like he did the first time around.
I mean, I knew that.
Yeah, but take that away, and the fact the first game, the Lakers only had 4 bench points.
Mm-hmm.
So Giannis was extremely hot. That's still his career high in made threes.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, the bench was extremely cold, and it's odd that, that's rare that they're going to have, as an entire unit, 4 points from the bench. That was the game the first time. The Bucks didn't get 5 threes from Giannis. The Lakers bench also scored more than 4 points. Go figure. And then what's the result? We won.
And LeBron James was attacking the rim.
LeBron was dominant, 37, 8, and 8.
Yeah, he had, I think Jay-Z was looking at him like, woo! You know, Jay-Z went to both games.
Yeah, and he had some big dunks, too.
Yes.
LeBron was throwing it down.
He was over the rim.
Can you say sorry for old man LeBron?
Season's not over yet, but I'm mostly sorry.
He's mostly sorry.
Yeah.
So basically, he reserves the right to change his judgment.
Yep.
Because tomorrow he's gonna text me and start yelling at me,
so you see this old man?
Get him a walker.
He's gonna be calling Life Alert.
This dude, Kevin. He knows about Life Alert because he's coming up on that age where he knows it. How you call him old when you older than him?
I am.
35. He's 35.
Yeah, whatever. Like, I'm not playing professional basketball, but I know when I see it.
All right.
You cannot deny the one time he tried to dunk and he barely made it up there.
Bro,
That was a
took
clear
off
sign of senior citizen age in the NBA.
You told him to call AARP.
It's like, who is this guy? Did we get the end of the stick? Because I don't like it. But you know, he's really starting to just dominate. Like, dominate. He did a spin to a dunk. I was like, oh.
Yeah. 12 for 21 from the field. The one thing I didn't like was the 1 for 7 3. He's even been shooting free throws better lately.
Yeah. I can't complain about that.
Except for tonight.
37, 8, and 8.
Except for tonight. Against the Nets, it was not pretty from the free throw line for LeBron.
But
But against the Bucks, 12 for 15.
This is playoff basketball right here. You have AD with 30, LeBron James with 37. Everybody else just filling in the gaps.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it's going to happen.
Yeah. But 12 for 15 from the free throw line?
That's good.
That's great. Given he was shooting like 60%.
But you know, he's been taking his time. Have you seen him take that extra breath?
And he still misses. Dude, like, we talked about this earlier in the year. He changes his free throw stance every year, I said. And you told me every year. He does it like every game he's making.
He was doing every game.
Yeah. But it wouldn't surprise me if coming back next season for the season opener, he has some funky, different, changed up routine from the free throw line.
I mean, have you seen AD's free throw shooting? It's the same every single game.
That's how coaches preach it. It's a routine. It's a habit. Whatever you do, go up there and do the exact same thing every time. J. Kidd used to blow a kiss to the rim every time. Now, what's the point of that? But it's part of the routine. It's what he's comfortable doing.
It just helps slow things down. I get it.
So, but like I said, it wouldn't surprise me if he comes back next year with a completely different thing. Because last year, remember, he would take a couple dribbles and he would take a step back with his right foot, bend, and then re-square up as he's going up to release the shot. I didn't understand that. That was dumb to me because why are you moving your feet that's so counterproductive to me. I don't know. But he's been aggressive. Let's not bury another great player, AD, with 30 points. Only 9 rebounds, so he didn't quite get the double-double, but he did have 2 blocks.
Mm-hmm.
He, as well, was good from the free throw line, which I'm not concerned with AD because he's about 84-85% on the year. But he shot 10 for 11 and 10 for 24 from the field in only 29 minutes. And I saw a stat that he had 30 points for 4 straight games.
When you think about this,
I forget what games it was.
Think about this. The Bucks went to the free throw line 23 times. AD and LeBron went to the free throw line 26 times.
Yeah. It's
attacking the rim. Attacking the rim.
AB put the lockdown on somebody, plus 23. Danny Green put the lockdown on somebody, plus 17. KCP did not have a good showing, minus 12. Kuzma was all right. I liked what I saw from Kuzma.
I'm telling you, Kuzma, he's been a better defender as of late. He still gets called for some fouls, but they're really like extremely ticky tacky. Extremely ticky tacky. Calls that I feel like he'll get away with in the playoffs. And he hasn't been knocking down the threes, as you mentioned earlier, but fadeaway shots. I mean, he had a fadeaway shot tonight that just looked like Kobe-esque. I was like, dang, the form. So
I feel like the more I see Kuzma play, the less high I am on him, the lower I'm getting.
Really?
Yeah, with each passing game. I like what he's doing.
Really? As the last 3 games. The last 3 games.
I like the fact that he's actually playing with the intensity. He's playing with hustle, effort, energy, all those types of things. He's actually he's not a great defender, but he's had a good stretch of playing above average defense. But I don't. For him to be basically an energy guy, that's too low.
Think about it.
Not for his potential.
I still credit most of his mistakes not even mistakes. I still credit most of his lack of play due to the second point guard.
No.
And if you really look at the numbers, if you just look at the numbers by themselves, everybody off the bench was a negative. You got
no, Kuzma was plus 10.
Exactly.
Oh, minus Kuzma, you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
So, I mean, there's no other way to
but you're basically at this point, you're telling me Kuzma provides the same things Caruso does, right? Because we're always, you specifically, you're always ranting and raving about Caruso, and I was getting ready to let you have the floor on that for this game because Caruso was in there at the end.
Mm-hmm.
He was a -4, but he had 8 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist. He was doing the little things, all the things you love. But you're basically now delegating Kuzma down to that, and Kuzma's potential and talent level should far exceed that. So the fact that now we're talking
based
about...
on what, though? Because you can't say it based upon how much he's making, because he ain't making nothing.
No, based on his ability to score. He's a far more proficient scorer in lethal score than what he's showing us this year. I get it, LeBron, AD coming off the bench, all that. I get that.
They're not running it through him. And then when Rondo comes on the floor, I don't know. Sometimes I don't know what the hell he's doing. I have no idea what Rondo is doing. I really wouldn't be mad if they just told Rondo to take a back seat and they just gave it to Caruso.
No.
Because at least I'd expect almost nothing from this bench at this point in time. Almost nothing, because when Rondo's running it, I have no idea what the hell he's doing.
Well, I guess you and me had flip-flopped, because earlier in the season, weren't you the one that was like, oh, no, the bench is good?
No. I said Rondo was terrible.
Besides Rondo. I'm not talking Rondo specific. I'm talking the whole bench and what they have.
Yeah.
Not how you deploy it, but on paper. You were satisfied with the bench. I didn't at the beginning of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Now that I'm watching it, especially the last few games, I'm actually liking what the bench is. I like the fact we have KCP coming off. I like
that.
I like the fact that Howard provides that third big man.
Yep.
I like Markieff Morris.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a renege on what I said last week. I like that we have Markieff Morris because I want that physicality and that toughness. I like the fact that we have Caruso coming off, who provides the energy and hustle. I'm very comfortable, especially come playoff time, that Rondo will run the second unit. Rondo, it's a thing, bro.
He has one good game every 15 games.
Okay, it's fine.
You know what that means? He's going to have one good game in the whole playoffs.
No. Watch come the playoffs, and he's averaging 10 and 10.
What is he showing you what is he showing you this season? Give me one thing this season to provide.
7 assists in his first 8 minutes against the Clippers.
This Clipper game.
The one we haven't got to yet, yeah. He had 7 assists in the first half.
All right.
I'm pretty sure he ended with 7 for the whole game. But he had 7 in the first half.
All right.
The one thing about the bench that I'm not too quite fond on is I don't believe Kuzma's living up to his potential.
No, he's not living up to his potential.
Which is why I'm down on him.
But you know why he's not living up to his potential.
Those are reasons, yes.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna go as far as say they're excuses, because there's some people are like, oh, you're not doing it, and whatever you say is an excuse. But some people feel like, no, there's actually reasons for things in life. Yeah. I'm one of the people who thinks there's reasons for things, so I'm fairly understanding. Okay. But at the same time, you're shooting below 20% from 3 in the last 15 games.
Yeah, but how many threes does he shoot per game?
Against the Bucks, he took.
He shoots 2 to 3 per game.
He took 6 against the Bucks.
On average, he's taking 2 to 3.
What did he shoot against the Sixers? The Sixers, he shot 5 against them. That's 11 in 2 games. That comes down to 5.5.
I'll look this up. Fast forward. I'm pretty sure he's shooting 2 to 3 per game. It's not a large enough sample size to figure out if someone's a good 3-point shooter or not. And you know he's a good 3-point shooter.
Every year of his career, he's degressed in 3-point shooting. The best 3-point shooting
But he's not just a
year
3-point
he's
shooter.
ever had was his rookie year.
But he's not just a 3-point shooter.
When you're a scorer coming off the bench playing against second units and you want to give me 11 points,
But he's not.
he's a scorer. You know Kuzma is a scorer.
Kuzma at heart is a scorer. Who he wants to be is a scorer. But the Lakers, for some reason, for whatever reason, say, you know what? On this team, I need you to do something else. I need you to rebound. I need you to guard the bigger man. He's like 6'8". He's guarding like 6'10"
And this is
guys.
why I told you last week that he's one-dimensional. Because, yes, he has all these things that he can do at least league average.
Mm-hmm.
His scoring is by far his greatest attribute. But he comes into the arena and he does one of them, and the rest are non-existent. Now, that one thing that he does well on a night-in, night-out basis changes nightly. It's fluid. So, when you can't put it all together, you're in year 3 now. You basically know what an NBA player is by year 3 or 4.
Look,
you know what they are by the 3rd or 4th year in the league.
The Lakers are probably going to trade Kyle Kuzma.
I hope they extend him
at the end of the season, and I guarantee.
I hope they don't do it until they extend him.
I'm pretty sure they're going to wait.
They have to.
This will be like a sign and trade deal.
Yeah.
I guarantee he's going to be a star. Guarantee.
You want to put some money on that?
I will bet you $5 whole.
$5 whole.
Yes. Guarantee he'll be a star.
I'm surprised you didn't go cheap with the Michael Thompson bet. $1. If you listen to ESPN 710 on the radio in LA, you would know what I'm talking about. I know Kevin does, but $5.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I know he'll be a star.
So if he gets traded in at this point next year, what do you consider a star? Making the All-Star team, or is it like?
I think
he didn't necessarily make the All-Star team, but he put up 23 points.
I think he'll make an All-Star team by year 5.
So within 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, people. So season 3 of the Purple and Go Hoops podcast, Adam is getting paid.
Oh. You know they're going to trade him to a team where he can flourish, right? Like my dream scenario is Kyle Kuzma gets traded to Washington, and we get back
Bill.
I
don't think he's quite going to be in that salary range.
How much is Bill? I think Bill was only making like 70 to 100.
They were offering him Supermax.
I don't think he's staying.
I think he already signed it.
He looked.
I think he re-signed last year or the year before.
I'll have to look at his contract. When Kyle Kuzma was shooting the best, he was shooting six threes per game. Now he's shooting only 4.
That's still above year 2. That's double year 2. Bro, Kevin, I watch all these games, man. He shoots a lot of threes. And I tried to tell you earlier, too, he's a ball stopper. He's a poor man's Melo. He's a poor man's Melo. He's what Melo was, but not as good.
Wow.
That's what Kuzma is. I'm not saying he can't have a good career on that, but he does the same things Melo does, but he's not as good.
All right. So Bradley Beal's making 25.
25. When did he sign his extension? Or when does his contract end?
Ends next year.
Oh, so he still hasn't signed it?
No.
An extension. I know they were offering him a Supermax.
So he has an expiring contract, and I'm pretty sure he's not going to sign it.
He's a 2021 free agent?
Yeah.
Or 2020?
2021 free agent. He's going to be
But
there.
see, now the issue with that... hold on. Maybe it's not an issue. We get an expiring contract for 1 year.
Exactly.
That's $25 million. They want to keep space open for Giannis. You let Bradley Beal go, plug in Bradley Beal and one other player.
I'm pretty sure they'll
plug in Giannis
for
for the max.
I'd find a way to keep all 3.
Well, at that point, you'd have 4. LeBron, AD, Giannis, and Beal.
LeBron's on his way out. I'm pretty sure he's on his way out.
Yeah, but he can opt in next summer.
I'm pretty sure LeBron's on his way out.
You think he's opting out and retiring?
Mm-hmm.
So you think we have this year and next year and that's it?
Yep.
I think he'll opt in and take that farewell tour and then go sign with the Cavs for like a 1-day contract or whatever.
Sign with that man.
Ceremonial reasons, man. Because you know he wants to own a professional sports team, and you know he has his eye on.
You don't have to. You don't have to sign with the. And first of all, if he was going to buy a team, he's not buying the Cavs.
Oh, I bet he will.
No,
I bet that's his first option.
he is way too smart to buy that team.
Or maybe he thinks, I'm from Akron, 45 minutes up the road. I won a championship here. I want to do right by my home. I see what y'all got to deal with as an owner. I've lived through it myself being a player on his team. I saved you guys by giving you a championship. Let me save you by taking over the franchise and bringing something that's stable.
Yeah, you can go ahead and talk about that all you want.
Yeah.
That ain't going to happen.
Kevin just completely dismisses me, people.
Yeah, it's a dumb idea.
It's not. Explain to me how it's done, please. Because I don't understand. Like, you and I are always so far on the opposite end of the spectrum on everything. And I don't understand why we can't never just agree on anything. So please explain to me how it's done.
I'm about to tell you right now. Let's go over to the next game. This game was a blowout.
The Bucks?
Well, it wasn't a blowout, but it was a really good win. And it seemed like Giannis he kind of got bullied.
Okay, before we go there, look. Can I defend Rondo? 5 points, 4 assists, 2 rebounds in 12 minutes.
Rondo.
5 points, 4 assists, 2 rebounds in 12 minutes. 12 minutes, dude gave you 5, 4, and 2? In 12 minutes? You only get about 1 possession a minute. Maybe 2. So he had about 24 possessions.
Rondo.
Come on, man.
I'm just not a.
You're just a Rondo hater. It's because he was a Celtic. Huh?
No, it has nothing to do with that. I wish that was the reason, because at least it would give me a good reason not to like him. At this point, I'm done with him. I'm just like, every time he comes on the floor, I'm just like, oh god, here we go.
All right, what if playoff Rondo is a thing and it's real? He comes in, playoffs start, completely different player, and he's just lighting it up.
That's different, but there's no reason to believe that will actually happen based upon the way he's playing this season.
Okay, now when it does happen, not if, when it does, and you're singing his praises, just remember to acknowledge that I've been doing this since day one. All right? It just give me the pleasure of hearing you say, I'm right about something. Please.
I'll say that you're right.
Oh, I'll remind you. I will remind you. So, what was it? But
all right. So, it is a bad idea. It took me a while to find this. I usually find it a lot faster. It's a bad idea to buy this team because the Cavaliers are 17th in ticket sales. You're already a mid what they call it, middle America team, small market team, whatever you want to call it, and they average about 17,816 tickets, whereas a team like the Lakers will average about 19 to 20,000.
Okay.
So
now you think
it's a bad business move.
One, LeBron is not worried about no money. He is a billionaire.
Everybody's worried about money that has money.
Two. You don't think more people will turn out because LeBron is now on the team?
No, it don't work like that.
Yeah, I bet you they will.
Jordan,
they will be so hyped.
As Jordan,
they will be so hyped. Jordan doesn't own the Bulls. That's the difference. Jordan never played for the Charlotte Hornets.
He grew up in North Carolina.
I understand that. But he never played. So his professional memories, everything he did in the NBA, basically his entire legacy, because when you talk about Jordan and his legacy, you don't talk about North Carolina. You don't talk about high school except to mention, Jordan was cut from the sophomore team as a freshman.
And played for UNC.
You don't talk about that, though. You don't. When you mention Jordan's legacy, how many people do you mention, remember the national championship?
James Worthy?
Yeah. Who, you know that because you're a basketball fan.
Yeah.
But how many people, when they talk about Jordan's legacy, actually bring that up? Even the figureheads.
All I'm saying is that his presence isn't going to sell any more tickets.
I think it will.
You have to be on the floor.
I think people will support him because
product is a bad product.
I think people will support him because he's from the region. He's proven to them that he will lead them to a championship once. Yes, given as a player is completely different than as an owner, but I think they will still have that blind faith. That's the one championship any pro team has won in Cleveland in the past 50 years. So it's not like they have all these banners to point to, like, oh, well, we've been here. He's responsible for the one they have. So I think people have some faith in him that he will turn it around, especially given his track record as a businessman and all his off-the-court ventures that he's done. So I think people will – I surely think ticket sales will go up.
I think it'll be short-lived. That's short-lived.
So you think if – all right, run with me.
By the way, the Hornets, you know where they rank?
Probably last.
Second to last.
Who's last? Do you know? Do you have it?
Timberwolves.
Oh.
And they'll probably go up as soon as they get rid of this season. At least they have Karl Anthony Towns.
I'm going to ask you something once we're done. But, okay. So run with me here. Assume LeBron bought the Cavs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? We're living in a world yesterday, 2 days ago, whatever it is, Dan Gilbert sold the Cleveland Cavaliers to LeBron James.
Okay.
Not as a minority owner, not as a majority, as straight up you're purchasing the Cavs.
Yeah.
How long do you think he owns them for?
Who, LeBron?
Yeah. 3 years, 5 years.
I mean, if you're going to get
10
in
years.
it, you might as well get in it to win it.
But you said you think it would be short-lived. I agree with what you just said. But
I think it'll be short-lived.
Where the ticket sales go up?
The ticket sales will go up. Because if you have a bad product, people just won't show up. They're like, well, you're not playing. I ain't coming to watch you stand up in the
I think LeBron is smart enough, though, basketball-wise and business-savvy enough that he will find something.
Hey.
I think the only thing that might hang that
Michael
up...
Jordan drafted Kwame Brown. All right,
we've went over this.
Basketball
Frank
players,
Kaminsky.
like basketball players,
yes.
baseball players, football players can't always see talent.
Well, the great ones can't. That's the weird thing. The great ones can't. But the end of the bench guys, I get it. I'm helping your case. Let me talk for once. The great ones can't, right? But the end of the bench guys, the rotation guys, the fringe guys, they're the great talent evaluators. They're the great coaches and GMs and everything.
You know why? Because they've had to work for everything they've gotten. They had to work so hard at technique and being right and being in the right spot for so long that's the only way they were going to make it. They didn't have the speed. They didn't have the strength. They didn't have all the height. They had to work for what they had. So they can notice other qualities in other basketball players when they see it.
Okay. I think LeBron would turn the Cavs around. Now, he may not win a championship right off the bat or anything. It may take 10, 15, 20 years. But I think when I say turn around, I think he would put the Cavs franchise in a much better place than Dan Gilbert currently has them. If he were to buy them.
If he was smart, he would try and buy the Miami Heat.
I don't know how welcomed he is down there after he left. That's the thing. And Mickey Arison is on the Heat. Yeah. He's not that. See, that's another hard thing is you have to find somebody that wants to sell.
Yeah. I know the NBA. I think they're looking to open two other franchises though.
Yeah, one of them was in Seattle or is in Seattle, and I haven't heard of where the other one would be.
No.
Maybe possibly Vegas, but they have some concerns about that. Plus, that's two teams in the West.
Sure, it's gonna be Vegas.
So you have to, but then you have to rebalance the conferences. I mean, I guess you could move Memphis to the East since they're already basically on the East Coast anyway.
Like, why are they even in the
West?
Because
it's from when they moved from Vancouver.
Yeah. But still,
they can. So they would have to do a little bit of tweaking as far as the conferences and divisions go, but
I'm pretty sure it's gonna be in Vegas. Vegas is getting big. Vegas,
especially now that they got the Raiders coming next year.
The Raiders.
Yes, sir. All right, so you said a couple minutes ago you were done with the Bucs game.
Yeah.
All right. Take it away.
Oh, you mean the Clippers?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Take it away. Before we started recording, Kevin and I were talking a bit. and he told me he was going to destroy my life with his arguments about the Clippers. Because, of course, we were talking about Patrick Beverly and arguing about that.
Yes.
And he told me, hold on, I'm going to destroy your life, save it for the podcast. Go ahead. Let's go, my friend.
So let's look at Patrick Beverly's stats for the game before we get into actually what he did and what he said after the game. So Patrick Beverly, the starter who's supposed to be learning how to be the point guard, the full-time point guard that he was supposed to be, the one that was learning the point, right? That got his pocket picked.
Yeah.
Anyway, he had 2 points. He had 1 steal, 1 assist, and 4 rebounds in 26 minutes.
Do you want to dive deeper? Because there's a whole lot more you can get into.
He was a minus. I mean, of course they lost, so he's already going to be a minus. But he was a minus 16. And in the last 6 minutes of the game,
I'd say 5.
Last 5 minutes of the game, he was on the bench.
Yes, he was. Thank God. Praise Jesus.
Yes, because he was because he was getting exposed in the pick and roll. And after the game, because they asked him, "Oh, is guarding LeBron James a problem?" No, it's not a problem. I'm good out there. And the reporter was like, "Oh, maybe he didn't hear me. Let me say it one more time just to make sure you heard me."
That's why he's my guy.
And I was like, "Dude, you got assassinated that night." And he tried to get. The worst part is that he tried to get under LeBron James' skin because Patrick Beverly is like a little gnat out there, right? He's like a little gnat. So
I love him.
So he's like buzzing around and buzzing around.
I love him. Yes.
And eventually, you're just like, you know what? I've seen this gnat before. This ain't the first rodeo for LeBron. This is not his first irritant. You know who his first irritant was.
Oh, don't go here.
Yes.
Number 6 from last year?
Huh?
Number 6 from last year?
Yes.
The Lakers, Mr. I'm going to blow in your ear.
Yes. This is not his first irritant. And he tried to get up under LeBron and follow him back once. And then the next time he tried to slap the ball out of his hand. I'm like, you're trying too hard, bruh. You're trying too hard. If this is all you got, then you need to get off the court. Because what you don't need to do as a basketball player is try and irritate a player to the point where they go off on you. How about you just do your job on the court when the game is being played? When the minutes are coming down, you do your job on the court. You don't have to do any talking. You don't have to do jibber jabber. I didn't see none of that from him. I didn't see typical Patrick Beverly I'm doing so well out here tonight. I mean, he was quiet, sitting on the bench where he needs to be. Because, Lance Stevenson, last I heard, he's not even in the NBA.
Except for, let me start with your weakest point. He was trying to talk back because there was one play in the first half where something happened, the ball was scored, and he turned around and kind of shoulder bumped, I believe it was Danny Green or Avery Bradley, and kind of looked at him like, what? Wasn't called a technical foul. But then when Avery Bradley comes down the other side, made a play, and all he did was shoot a glance.
Avery Bradley got a tech.
Yeah.
Yes. So, and I believe that he should have gotten a tech for what he did.
Yeah, and me too. I don't believe Patrick Beverly should have got a tech for what he did, but my thought about it on the time was if you're not going to call it on him, don't call it on us when we did a lot less.
Exactly. I thought that was bogus.
As a Laker fan,
whatever.
That's how I feel about it. I don't agree with that particular call. I think it would be smart for us to say the score real quick too, right?
Yeah, so the score was the Lakers won 112-103.
Yes.
And I'll go back.
Yeah, clearly this is a loaded game for Kevin and I.
Yes. So Anthony Davis and LeBron James at their part again. Anthony Davis led the team in scoring, 30 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists. Oof, he only had 2. He also had 5 fouls. Anyways,
he didn't play a lot in the first half.
LeBron James had 28 points, 9 assists, 8 rebounds. He had a hell of a game. Hell of a game. I mean, what makes LeBron James special is the fact that he is the ultimate point guard. And when I talk about point guards, I mean point guards to me are like quarterbacks or like the catcher in a baseball game. You control tempo. And when you control tempo, you control the entire game. That's why when a young guy comes out there and he's running and gunning, an old man or a good point guard will slow down like, hey, let's
John
chill.
Stockton.
Chill. We're
John
going to run
Stockton
this away.
was elite, and he didn't play in an up-tempo. He did pick and roll before pick and roll was even popular. Him and Karl Malone, he made a career off pick and roll.
All day.
Pick and roll and pick and pop.
I mean, it would drive you nuts.
But can I roast you on, or can we bring him back?
Anyway, so Kawhi Leonard had 27 points, and Paul George had 31 points. Paul George was hot that night.
Mm-hmm.
And he seemed like the better player out of...
He was hot all night except for the fourth.
Except for the fourth.
He had 2 points in the fourth.
Because, playoff P shows up all the time.
Hey, we don't call him that no more. We're going to respect that Palmdale.
Yeah.
That damn Palmdale. You've been excommunicated from L.A.
So
you are no longer L.A. County. Palmdale and Riverside.
Out of all players that played more than 10 minutes, only Harrell and Patrick Beverley had 2 points.
Okay.
Oh, no. Morris had 1.
Yeah, that was terrible for them. And they supposedly got the better Morris player.
I was like, but see, I'll get to that later.
Yeah.
I'll get to my other point.
Like I said, very low topic. All right. So, Patrick Beverley, that irritant. Why do you think he gave Durant so many fits last year in the playoffs?
I don't feel like he gave him any fits. Do you want to go back to...
They came down. They came back from 35 down, Kevin. He was the primary defender on KD all series, Kevin. They took 2 games off a fully loaded Warriors team, Kevin. Steph, Klay, Draymond, KD.
You want to go over
the whole team. The whole team. And they took, with no superstars, 2 games off of them? Come on now. You made the point.
You want to go over Kevin Durant's stats last playoff
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. You talked a lot.
There was no competition.
You talked a lot. You made a lot of points that I need to rebuttal first.
Okay.
During All-Star Weekend, you were here with my son ganging up on me talking about, you add KD to the Warriors. That's just unfair. They took 2 games off a fully loaded Warriors team with no superstar.
Okay.
Came back from 35 down.
And you think Patrick Beverley did all this by himself?
No.
Not even running the point.
No, I think he was a big part of it, though. Okay? Second of all, you mentioned, what was he doing? LeBron seen this and that. Okay. You want to talk about his stat line? Okay. That's all good. He's not a star, so I'm not expecting him to light up the box score every night.
I'm not expecting him to light up the box score.
But guess what happened on Christmas? I remember that. Stripped LeBron in the final seconds. Won the game. Right? Shut him down.
So
shut him down.
I love how you credit him for all of that.
No, I credit him for the defense he's playing. And it starts with him. It's the reason why you talk to anybody in the Clippers organization and they will tell you Patrick Beverley is our heart and soul.
Oh, yeah?
I've heard every player say it. I've heard Doc Rivers say it.
Whatever. Look, I believe it.
Yeah.
I believe that they say it.
So it starts with Patrick Beverley, okay? He's the head of the spirit. You also wanted to, what were your other points? There was something else I was going with this. You want to make such a big deal out of him not being able to run the offense. Well, guess what? He's not out there for offense, bro. He's out there for his defense.
They said that he's learning how to run the offense.
That's
the third
nice.
Player that Doc Rivers has ever let run his offense, and he looked terrible doing it.
That night, he looked terrible.
He looks terrible doing it all the time. He ain't got it. He's not that guy.
Oh, that's where I want to go. You mentioned post-game press conference.
Mm-hmm.
About how he was saying, it's not that hard. I watched it. If you haven't watched it yet, it's on ESPN, the app,
everywhere.
Whatever. Yeah, it's about a 30-second clip or whatever. Where he basically, to summarize it, he said guarding LeBron wasn't a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that hard. And he was very matter-of-fact about it. And you know what? I like that confidence. So what? So what? You just played a bad game. Guess what? So what?
Yeah.
You got to be confident. Because if you don't have no confidence, you ain't gonna never be able to do it. You got to believe in yourself before anybody believes in you.
You can have confidence in yourself and give some man some credit. He just put up 28 on you, 28, 9 and 8. If you're gonna tell
LeBron, it's not acting like that's amazing. We see that every night. LeBron does that every night. It's not like LeBron did something spectacular. The best thing LeBron did in this game, in my opinion, was go to the damn free throw line 14 times and make 12 of them.
Look, there were 4 superstars in this game.
LeBron
and one person controlled the whole damn game.
Yeah, but we expect that from LeBron.
And the guy that's criticizing him wasn't even in the game in the most important part of the game. Wasn't even in the game. That means your coaching staff didn't even have faith in you.
He's a Laker killer. Thank God he was in on the floor. Thank God he was in on the floor because I guarantee.
What does that tell you? What does that tell you when you're on the bench in the most crucial part of the game? Crunch time.
What happened on December 25th, 2019?
Yeah, December 25th. We're talking about today. Or we're talking about this game.
That was 2.5 months ago.
Your coaching staff.
You're acting like it was an eternity ago, Kevin. It was 2.5 months ago.
And then you go off and you mentioned this whole Kevin Durant thing. You want me to mention Kevin Durant's stats?
Go ahead. You already looked it up. I gave you perfect time.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Game 1, he had 23.
Okay.
Game 2,
for
he had
Kevin
21.
Durant, down night. Definitely a down night for Kevin Durant. You barely
Game 3, he had 38.
Okay.
Game 4, he had 33. Okay. Game 5, he had 45. Game 5, he had 50. He averaged 35 points on the man. He didn't do nothing.
What games did the Lakers, the Clippers win of that series? They won 2.
They won the second one.
And the
they won the fifth one.
Yeah.
The game he had 45 in.
Okay, game 2 was 21?
Game 2 is 21.
Kevin, man, you can't do it all the time. But take bro.
He's so full of it. He murdered him.
What do you want him to shut Kevin down Durant or shut Kevin down Durant?
You said he got in his face. He
and
was
for
all
2 games, and for 2 whole games to start the series, 23 and 21. You're telling me those are great numbers from Kevin Durant?
Look, 23
Kevin
they
Durant.
won. 23 they won.
But 23 from Kevin Durant, those are great numbers. That was a good scoring night for Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant could put up 60 any given night.
Look, on a team like the Warriors, you didn't really even have to score more than 25. On a team like the Warriors, team that has Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant.
Yes, it's all unfair. We get it. Okay, cool. But guess what? You still held Kevin Durant to 23 and 21 in back-to-back games.
35 for the series, man.
23 and 21 in back-to-back games.
Playoffs
are all about adjustment.
The series, he averaged
nobody in the world is going to shut Kevin Durant, LeBron James, Kawhi Leonard, Giannis Antetokounmpo. They're not going to do that every night. The only thing you can ask is for 1 or 2 nights in a series.
Like, you just made the argument that he shut him down. He was in his head. Obviously, he wasn't. Obviously. He does all this barking, all this jibber-jabbing. Jibber-jabbing.
Did the points go down or up after game 1? They went from 23 to...
They went up.
The next game, was it down or up? Did he have more or less in game 2? Oh, he had less.
You're arguing 1 game.
I'm arguing 2 games.
Look, your boy does nothing. The numbers don't lie. Russell Westbrook wasn't lying when he said all he does is talk.
Russell Westbrook talks about everybody. He from LA. I love him. I like the way his intensity in there.
Facts.
But he be talking about everybody. Russ says some out there things and
anyways, facts are facts. Your boy does nothing.
No,
people score on him and he puts up 2 points. I'm sorry. That's just not a good basketball player.
Heart and soul of a team. Heart and soul of a championship contending team.
If you want to talk about not skilled players, that's a not skilled player. You can't give up 38 and then score 2 points. That's not a very good skilled basketball player.
Can you read me Marcus Morris line? Not skilled?
Who, Marcus Morris?
Yeah.
4 points?
Because I'm pretty sure Pat Bev is better than he is.
Marcus Morris had 4 points. He also had 5 rebounds.
Not Markeith. Marcus. The Clippers Morris.
He had 1 point, and he had... Wait, I'm looking at the wrong one.
No, you're looking at the right one now. 1 point, 1 assist.
That's the Clippers
1 steal.
One,
yeah, that's what I'm asking about. Marcus Morris.
I don't care about him.
Now.
I'm caring about the one that's on the Lakers.
This is not talent, bro. 1 point, 0 for 7. Played in 0 for 9 from the field, 0 for 7 from 3. Your 1 point was a free throw, obviously. And played all of Kernsheim. And you want to tell me he's more skilled and talented than Patrick Beverly, who actually has a skill in playing defense? Like I told you, Marcus and Markieff Morris are just goons in hockey, bro. They're just out there to be tough and be an enforcer. Yes.
I wouldn't say that. I've seen both of them ball.
Goons.
No, they can
goons. They're goons, bro.
All right.
What's the kid from the Mighty Ducks? The one that's just a hitter. The big one that they recruit.
They're not just hitters.
Just skates around.
Look, on a championship winning teams, yes, they're role players. But on other teams, they're really good players. Depends on where you're at. You could say that on a championship winning team, Kyle Kuzma is a role player. But on any other team, he might be the star of the show.
Empty calorie stats.
Call it what you want to call it. I mean, there's 30 teams in the NBA. 30 teams. Unless you want to boil down the NBA down to 6 teams, then, I mean, what are we talking about? Are you really going to watch the NBA with 6 teams?
I mean, people used to do it with hockey. What
so
was it, the original 6 or whatever they call it? I don't know. But, I mean, Kevin and I, like I said, we're always on opposite ends of the spectrum. And he'll see come playoff time when Lakers play the Clippers in the conference finals and he's yanking his hair out, trying to figure out why is Patrick Beverly locking everybody down. Yeah, mm-hmm. I'm going to have that same reaction right there.
My favorite play was when Patrick Beverly got stuck on LeBron James' hip. And I was like, oh, you done messed up, bro. You done messed up. You don't get on a bigger player's hip. That is the worst defensive move ever. They'll just move you out of the way. That's like getting on
Kevin Durant couldn't do it.
That's like getting
Kevin Durant couldn't do it.
Kevin Durant does not have big hips.
Oh my god! You said bigger. Kevin Durant is bigger in a way. He's
bigger
6'11".
hips, like bigger hips. Like you don't want to get on the side of Melo's hips. You don't want to get on the side of LeBron James' hips. Guys that have wide hips, you cannot get on the side of their hips. That is the worst move ever. I'm like, where's your defensive presence?
You about to feel me. That's where it's at. We ain't about to be soft and just let you come to this room. Feeling me? I don't mean to make it sound wrong.
Coming out of your mouth.
Why not? Why not?
I'm about to call you Skip Bayless right now.
That number 2. Number 2. We might as well talk about him. 9 for 18 from the field, so that was efficient. Only 2 for 9 from 3 and 7 for 8 from the free throw line. As Kevin said earlier, he had 27 points, 2 rebounds, just 1 block, no assists, no steals. Surprisingly enough, he was minus 17. Kawhi Leonard, for those who aren't catching on.
I love the fact that the Clippers were so obsessed with the Lakers that they wanted to make every trade the Lakers were willing to make. And they acquired all these players, and a lot of these players are rhythm players. And rhythm players need the ball all the time.
Or at least consistent minutes.
And in consistent minutes. So before, in the past, you had Paul George and Kawhi Leonard taking all the important shots. Mm-hmm. All of them. And now they're taking every other important shot, and some of these role players are taking a shot every 5 minutes. So they are cold as ice all game long, and that's why a player like Marcus Morris can go 0 for 7 from 3, because he's getting 1 shot every 5-10 minutes. And they're all...
Oh, no, 7 attempts is a lot from 3.
No, 7 attempts is a lot, but he's not getting them all in a row. He's getting them like here and there. And here and there.
Well, because he's not a star. He's just a goon. What do you want from the goon?
Look at their 3-point shooting for the entire team. They went 7 of 31. 7 of 31.
Lakers did play that lockdown D.
Yes.
And I'm not even being sarcastic about that. The defense
to me, if you ask
amazing.
me, it's the structure of their team. Because now they have other 3-point shooters. They have Reggie Jackson shooting threes. They have Landry Shamet shooting threes. And Kawhi is still pissed off at Landry Shamet. They had
That's part of that Philly game that we were talking about that they played when Shake Milton went off.
Yes. They have so many other guys shooting threes now on those wide open shots that no one's in rhythm. I'm like, oh, I love this. Because now you don't have just Kawhi and just Paul George taking all the important shots.
See, I'm not so worried.
Too many mouths to feed.
I'm not so worried about that because that's kind of the Lakers' philosophy too. If you look at it, given the fact that we don't have a third option on any given night, is Avery Bradley, Danny Green, KCP, Rondo, Kuzma, Caruso.
You did forget to mention Avery Bradley. He had the game of the night.
24 points. Yeah.
24 points, 6 of 12 from 3.
He came out lighting it up too, early
Yes.
and often. But my issue with the Clippers, and I told you, so you've heard this already. At first, when they were getting these pickups, it was like, oh, they're getting deep, they're getting scary. They're not just Lou and Trez off the bench.
Mm-hmm.
Now they added Morris. Oh, now they added Reggie Jackson. Oh, wait, they still have JaMychal Green.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, like they started to get really deep. And the deeper they got after a certain point, the less scary it got because come crunch time, they can only have 5 players on the court at once. And the point I made to you before we started recording was you're going to have Kawhi and Paul George.
For sure.
It looks like Doc is committed to Marcus Morris because he's getting big minutes and the crunch time minutes. They're going to need Trez out there for some size.
Mm-hmm.
So now the 5th spot comes down to Landry Shamet, Lou Williams, Patrick Beverly, Reggie Jackson. You got a lot of options there.
I'm pretty sure it's going to be Lou Williams.
Okay, but that's good because now, even though you hate him and you think everything I'm saying is complete fallacy,
No, I mean,
at least we don't have to deal with Patrick Beverly.
I love Lou Williams.
But you don't love Patrick Beverly, so like that's what I'm saying.
There's
even
no
though,
way in God's green earth Patrick Beverly was closing out the game.
And I see it.
But defenders never close out games. You never see a defender close out a game. Pure defenders?
I mean, and I don't really understand that because
you're trying to stretch the floor. You can't stretch the floor in the last few minutes if you have a guy who just.
I'm not worried about the offense. Though. I'm not worried about the offense because if I'm doing my job,
you're assuming that you'll be up.
That would surely help as far as the math and the timing and legit. Yes. I've watched basketball enough, but even if I'm down a little bit, I have 2 elite scorers. I have Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, and I still have Montrezl Harrell who could still go get me 20 points, offensive rebounds.
He's too slow. Not in the last few minutes. Not in the last few minutes. He can't. No.
Honestly, where I would have it is, I would take out.
Like imagine Montrezl Harrell versus AD in the last few minutes.
See, and that's,
he's gonna get dominated.
That I agree with that. That's where the Clippers in the roster construction weren't quite prepared because they don't have enough size.
Mm-hmm.
Their really only big player, quote unquote, is it's a 10-day. We don't even know if he's really gonna stick.
Okay.
He's talking about Joakim Noah. They signed Joakim Noah. But really, their only size on the team is Ivica Zubac. Yeah. And he's never been in contention for closing minutes. No. I mean, he starts, but he doesn't play crunch time.
He's cool.
He's basically to them what JaVale McGee is for us.
Yeah.
So, if it was me and I was Doc, I would take Morris out of the lineup, and I would probably honestly run with Lou and Pat Bev. With Kawhi, Paul George, and Trez, yes.
That's not going to work.
You clearly saw Morris ain't working.
No, I'm saying that lineup right there, that construction, that's not going to work.
Why? You got defense, you got scoring. Yeah, you have 2 elite scorers, 2 elite defenders, energy man, 1 dude who plays defense and can't play offense, apparently, according to you, which I'm not big on his offense. I'm talking about Patrick Beverly. And then you have 1 dude in Lou Williams who can go gun, but constantly gets taken advantage of. Is very well balanced. I think that lineup is very well balanced.
What you're talking about is a bunch of mid-range shooters and 1 person that can stretch the floor. That's not going to work. You need another 3-point shooter out there.
Lou would be the stretch the floor.
Yeah, but you.
I trust Paul George shooting the 3.
No,
I'm pretty sure he's about league average. Kawhi, he's maybe a tick below league average as far as 3, but he's so efficient in getting his mid-range. I get it. That's the least effective shot and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But he won a championship last year doing just that. Basically just killing people in mid-range.
But they had Fred VanVleet out there. And I think they had 2 other three-point shooters out there along with him. You need 2.
So it was Kawhi. If I remember off the top of my head, it was Kawhi, Marc Gasol, Pascal Siakam, Kyle Lowry, and Fred VanVleet.
Kyle Lowry, Fred VanVleet.
But is Kyle Lowry... Wow.
You're not going to leave him open?
But is he a sniper?
You're not going to leave him open?
What's he shoot from 3? Over his
doesn't matter. You're not going to leave him
open. Can you look it up?
Yeah.
I see you ready to type.
You're not going to leave Kyle Lowry wide open to shoot a 3-point shot. I mean, it's just not going to work that way. Because on average, this year, he's shooting league average.
League average?
Yeah. 35%.
Which is what Paul George shoots.
Yeah. So you're not going to... But I'm saying that's why it makes sense.
So it's basically the same lineup construction.
No. Because
why not?
You can kind of like condense that lineup, especially if you have Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. You need 2 other 3-point shooters to give them space. Because now you can just collapse your defense.
So you want another 3-point shooter who's not one of the stars.
Exactly. It's not going to work that way. That's too easy. That's why Pat Bev you can't close out with him.
I feel you can.
I guarantee you in the playoffs, you're going to see him not be on the floor.
All right. Enough for the Clippers. We talked a lot about them. I thought this was purple and gold hoops talk. I'm going to start here with the Lakers side of things. Caruso.
Okay.
Played in the first half. Played fairly well.
Mm-hmm.
Decent. Mm-hmm. Wasn't lighting things up. Wasn't making too many big plays or anything.
Okay.
Come second half, did not get off the bench. Dwight Howard was the same way. Frank Vogel in that second half went from like an 11-man rotation.
Oh, yeah.
Cut it down to 9, and it looked great.
Well, I mean, that's what's going to happen in the playoffs, though.
But you're okay with Caruso not playing?
Yeah. I mean, everybody knows when it comes to playoff time, your rotation goes to 8, 9 guys.
Yeah. 9 max. 8 might be stretching, honestly.
Yeah.
If you're a really good team, it's 7.
So, I don't believe at all that Caruso's going to get the minutes he's getting now. He might get 2 or 3 minutes. 2 or 3 minutes here, 2 or 3 minutes there. And I'm talking about per game.
Oh, yeah.
So, I don't expect it to be any different.
But you've been on the Caruso fans football year.
Yeah. He provides great energy, makes great game-winning plays. Just like tonight, he made another game-winning play. It's just unselfish plays.
Watch your mouth. Too soon. Made a game-winning play in the game they lost.
No, I'm saying, like, he makes game-winning plays. Like, he makes winning plays. Every coach talks about making winning plays. Just make winning plays.
Yeah. I get the point you're making.
Yeah.
I'm being overly liberal.
Of course, we lost tonight.
It still stinks. It's only a couple hours ago. AD dominated down low. LeBron dominated, like Kevin said. Avery Bradley, 24 points. After that, not much going on. My guy, Doe.
You got who?
Doe. Rondo. 7 assists.
Straight up.
Too late now.
Got him.
So, hey. Blasphemy. Blasphemy.
So quick.
Blasphemy.
Okay, Rondo, going a different direction.
No, you're not. No, you are not. Hold on. All right. You want to role play this real quick? Quick 30-second role play?
No. I'm just not happy.
Because you know what happened if Rob Pelinka told Rondo he was cut?
What?
Oh, really? I'm cut? Let me pull my iPhone out. I'm going to look up Mr. James and Mr. Davis, and we're going to have a 3-way FaceTime, and I'm going to let them know. And let me know how well that works over for you.
I'm pretty sure LeBron James is going to be like, you know what? Man, I've been looking at it.
No. LeBron
Bro,
and AD
you are making
love
me work. Hey, just because we love you, like, on a personal level, does not mean I love you.
They love what he brings to the team.
I love what he brings, too. I just don't love what he's bringing this year.
Why can't we ever agree on anything? Like, this is like a bad marriage. It's like we're old people that have been married for 50 years and we're just so set in our ways and we're just used to the argument.
No. It's because you're impractical.
No, I am not. Yeah, off the bench Rondo is the only thing of any notice. I know we talked a lot about the Clippers, but that's just how it is.
Yeah.
It's a great win. My best win of the year, I think.
Yeah. Those 2 games, back-to-back wins with LeBron James controlling traffic.
He beat the reigning MVP. Oh, let's finish. My bad.
I feel like he should be at least leading in the MVP race. You can't go out there and everyone's telling you, oh, you guys haven't beat the top teams yet. How can you consider yourself a championship-winning team? And then you go out and you beat the 76ers with Giannis. You play him on defense.
The Bucks.
Yes.
Not
and
the
then, I'm sorry, the Bucks. And then the very next night, was it the very next night or was it a night?
No, it was Friday, Sunday.
Yeah.
So they had Saturday off.
2 days later, you go ahead and play the Clippers. They have the home game. So technically, this is a road game for the Lakers. And then you go ahead and knock them out too.
To further your point and strengthen it a bit, the Clippers were 10-0 when they had a fully healthy team, which they had against the Lakers. So now they're 10-1. And also, LeBron beat in consecutive games the reigning MVP and the reigning Finals MVP.
Yep.
JaVale McGee post-game said the Lakers are currently the best team in the world. I think he might have spoke too soon. We might need to pump the brakes after this loss.
No, I believe it. I believe it.
Well, you're going to have to explain this next game to me. But it was great. LeBron, like I said earlier, 12 for 14 from the free throw line. In 2 games, he shot 29 free throws. That's the LeBron I want to see. That's it. I think if we get this type of production team in the playoffs, there's nobody I'm afraid of.
No, nobody. I mean, he's playing bully ball again.
LeBron is doing it. You want to go to the next game?
Yeah, let's knock this one out real quick.
All right. Tonight, a few hours ago against the Nets. No Kyrie. He's out for the year for shoulder surgery.
Reason.
Yeah. Obviously, no KD. We come off a great weekend. I'm sure 99.9% Laker fans were expecting a win. I was in there. Nope. 104 to 102. And I don't even want to talk about the first 3 quarters. I don't even want to talk about anything but the last 2 minutes. LeBron. Final seconds. Gets to the rim. They're down 2. Alright? Gets to the rim. Goes for a left-hand layup. Hits the backboard, hits every part of the rim, and rims out. There's a scuffle for the ball. Goes out of bounds. The official says Lakers ball. They review it. Stays Laker ball. And there's 5 seconds left in the game. Lakers still down 2. They inbound the ball from the right side line. They started to play with LeBron at the left sideline. They had, I think it was Avery Bradley who popped out, set the pick for LeBron. LeBron came off it, curled, caught the ball at about the free throw line, and it was the Red Sea, parted open. He could have took 1 or 2 dribbles and got a dunk, tied the game up, sent it to overtime. Nope. Catches the ball. Instead of going to the rim, pulls it back out to the 3-point line. Keep in mind, he had 5 seconds when he caught it. So now he's about 3. Puts on 1 dribble move, attacks the rim, gets the defense to converge, passes it out to AD, wide open 3. It's a good shot. Not debating the quality of the shot. AD takes a 3, misses it, they lose. I don't understand why LeBron didn't take the 2. You had a guaranteed dunk. You had the guaranteed 2. But yes, you got to go overtime. So what? You should have blew this team out from the beginning. Why are you going for the 3? You said you would tell me tonight on the podcast, so floor is yours, my friend.
So, I don't mind that the Lakers went for the game-winning shot. I actually love it. I love the play because one, it was working. It had worked 2 times before when Anthony Davis got open. He was wide open. One, because DeAndre Jordan, is a power forward center, and he doesn't usually go out to the 3-point line in the first place. So the first time, Anthony Davis knocked it down.
Mm-hmm.
The second time, DeAndre Jordan fouled him.
He got an and 1-3.
And the third time, which is the time that LeBron James kicked it out to AD, he was nowhere to be found. So I have no problem with that shot. Now, reasons why they lost to a good team. They just lost to a good team. I mean, you look at the stat sheet; they're nearly identical. And what really hurt us in the beginning of the game is all the turnovers. But then they started to manage the ball better. But if you look at the assists, 24-24, rebounds 56-55, points in the paint 42-36, fouls 18-22. Stats are nearly identical.
Okay, I don't.
So you just lost to a good team, and it's not like they're garbage. They had Spencer Dinwiddie. He's a baller. They even have Wilson Chandler, who's actually good, but they don't even have him shooting. And then they have LeVert, and LeVert was just pulling up on everybody, whether you were in his face or not. Mm-hmm. So he just managed to knock him down tonight.
I recognize the backcourt. Where I have an issue with what you're saying is good team. The Nets are 30-34.
You don't think they're a good team? This is the same team that went to the playoffs last year. They have Jared Allen.
They fired their head coach a week ago. And
now,
real quick,
why they fired their head coach might be completely different.
The core reason is because as far as last year, he had a good system.
They're in the playoffs right now. Yeah. You don't fire a coach that's in the playoffs.
Yeah, the reason the rumors circulating that the Nets fired the head coach, Kenny Atkinson, is because Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving weren't really feeling him.
Pretty much.
So I understand you got to side with the star players. I'm not saying he did a bad job. I just don't think this team is very good this year. They were decent last year. I don't think they're very good this year.
Let me paint a scenario for you. Your team gets 2 superstars. Both of them are hurt in basketball. But let's say you get LeBron James and Anthony Davis, right?
Yeah. Now you're paying all this money for them to sit. You don't have. That's 70% of your cap space.
That's not even what pisses me off. You get that same team without them to the playoffs, and they're like, "We're not feeling you." What?
When the whole reason they came was because, we like the culture that he's put down.
Exactly.
I get it. I'm not saying they're irrational. So, we've talked a little bit about that.
But I'm saying, they have a good team. They have a good team. I mean, I've always liked Spencer Dinwiddie and LeVert. And they have Jared Allen.
But when I brought
and they have DeAndre Jordan, who's controlling the boards.
But when I brought LeVert up during trade deadline, you're like, who? Hold on, I have to. And you.
I didn't have to look him up, but I mean, I didn't know him by name.
Okay. But I want to pause on the good team. I don't think they're a good team. They were a decent team last year, but for whatever reason, this year ain't been working. They definitely are not a good team compared to the Lakers. Yes, the stats are pretty identical and close, as you already read over all of them. But I feel like this was just more of a complacency from the Lakers' end of things. I think they were on a high coming off beating Milwaukee and the Clippers in back-to-back games. They saw that they have a Nets team who's not that good, in my opinion. You obviously have a different take on them, but they're not that good.
I feel like they play hard.
And they do play hard. I will give them that.
Yes.
And the upcoming schedule is very tough. They have Houston. Mm-hmm. They have Denver. Then they have Utah back-to-back that same night. And they have Utah again. But those are actual Western Conference
But
Look
the teams,
at
sometimes
those teams are all four of those teams, all three of those teams are in the next 4 games. They're far better than Brooklyn is. So
Yeah,
I
but
think the Lakers were coming off a high and looking forward and slept on this game, and it was a trap game.
I don't even want to talk about the whole trap thing. All I'm saying is that sometimes it's easier to play the teams that you're familiar with because you know who they are.
Mm-hmm.
A team like this, you're not really familiar with them.
Because different conferences, they only play twice. Yeah.
I mean, I've watched Spencer Dinwiddie at least a handful of times, and I was like, I didn't even know he had a crossover like that.
Well, plus he's from LA, so it's that he's from LA, he's in LA, he's playing in LA. It's different when you're from LA and you're playing the Clippers versus playing the Lakers.
Yeah.
So that's like if you're from LA and you're playing the Lakers and it's a road game.
Yeah.
You're gonna show up. All the big LA stars do.
Outside of that cheating he was doing, getting to the rim.
Dinwiddie.
Yeah.
And he wanted to get mad for those 2 offensive calls
or
offensive foul calls.
I'm like, dude, you're already at the rim. Why are you elbowing him to get?
And not only that, jumping into their space, creating the contact, and then looking around like that's a foul.
Yeah.
I do real quick before I forget, and it's not a major piece of news. Since the Nets fired Kenny Atkinson, do you know who took over as interim head coach?
Who? No.
Jacques Vaughn.
Oh, yeah.
You know the name.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jacques Vaughn, shout out to him. He's from Pasadena, as Kevin and I are. Sadly for me, he went to Mir, the rival high school, but that's Kevin's alma mater, if you want to call high school an alma mater or whatever. But
on the school with the ballers.
You guys are the football school. We're the basketball school. Get out of here. Your basketball program is trash.
How many NBA players your school has?
How many NFL players your school got? See, that's the funny thing, too. Mir produces the basketball players, even though they have a weak program and a bad team every year. But their great football team produces nobody. Whereas Pasadena High School is the exact opposite. Great basketball team that produces nobody. Terrible football program that has numerous players go D1 in NFL. It's the strangest thing. But I digress.
These numerous players no one's ever heard of.
Chris McAllister, all-pro cornerback.
I know he is.
Yeah.
I met him. He goes to my church.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, or his mama does.
Oh, that's what's up. But yeah, I digress. Just wanted to give Jacques Vaughn a real quick shout out since he's a Dina boy like us. But yeah, I was very upset with tonight's game, especially the last 2 minutes. I have no words for it. I can't say LeBron played a bad game because he shot 12 for 22 from the field and 4 for 9 from 3. He was 1 assist short of a triple-double with 29, 12, and 9. Yeah. But it was some of the – I think it was with a minute – I think it was with a minute and a half.
Rondo?
I just gave Kevin the death stare twice in a row. I think it was a minute and a half left in the game and the Lakers were down 3.
When did the Lakers start losing? Let me help you out. When Rondo got on the court.
I think it's about...
I mean, every single time he gets on the court, we start losing.
I think
you cannot just take that and say, you know what, that means nothing to me.
I think there's about 3 people on Rondo Island. Me. Me.
Rondo.
Me.
Dylan.
I said island.
No. Dave Chappelle joke.
Oh. But yeah, right over my head. I think there's 3 people. Me, Ramona Shelburne, and I think it was John.
Ramona?
She loves Rondo, bro.
As an interviewer?
No. She loves him as part of the team and running the second unit. She's everything that she agrees with me.
Because all the basketball players say, get rid of Rondo.
Not LeBron, not AD.
All right. At least all the basketball analysts. Get rid of Rondo.
And everybody's going to shut up when it comes playoff time.
And they say, you know what? Kyle Kuzma might play a lot better if he didn't have Rondo.
And they're all going to shut up when it comes playoff time.
I hope so. I hope you're right. I really do.
While we're talking about Rondo tonight, 3 points, 2 assists, 1 rebound, 1 for 3 from the field, 1 for 2 from 3, and 16 minutes. Do you want his plus minus? He was a minus, or
No,
plus 0.
Plus 0.
Yeah, I was looking one line up. Kuzma was a -1. Plus 0. I don't understand how that's a plus. They should just put 0 on this damn stat sheet. Why are you putting plus 0? How am I plus nothing? Like, AD was -5, LeBron plus 8, Caruso -11, 14 minutes. You definitely start to see the rotation shrinking up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think Caruso was playing like 20 plus minutes, and now he's playing like 10.
Mm-hmm. He had less minutes than Markieff Morris, who just got to the team, who also did not have a good game. But he's a goon, so most of the things he does aren't going to show up in the session.
Wow.
Just keeping it real. Keeping it 100. But another bad thing about this loss...
Lord help me.
Are you going to pray for me next time you go to church?
It hasn't been working.
You already been doing it. Lord Jesus, please give me Colos with some common sense or something. But yeah, I don't agree. Or what I was saying is, another bad thing is the Lakers started out hot.
They did.
They started out like 5 for 6 from 3. They were up by like 11 in the first quarter. I really think they were just overlooking this game, and it was a trap game.
No. Well, back to my original point. I was upset. I was actually kind of upset with Frank Vogel because
I hate that name.
Yes, I do.
Vogel.
It doesn't even roll off the tongue well. I feel like I'm questioning myself as I'm saying it.
Okay, continue.
I felt like he left Rondo on the court too long, and they should have replaced him with Avery Bradley. Because we had a mismatch with Rondo and Dinwiddie. And I was like, dude, you need to replace him right now.
Wait, so you want to replace somebody and bring in a defensive guy? To close
Rondo.
The game out?
No, not to close. It wasn't to close the game out.
Oh.
No. This was like mid-third quarter. But I was like, bring in Avery Bradley. He's hot. And he can play D on Dinwiddie. Shut him down.
But then the issue with that is you don't have anybody to facilitate your offense. So you have to play LeBron more minutes. That's not going to work. Not when you're trying to manage his minutes. I'm not saying they're doing any drastic load management or anything, but you still want to kind of keep the minutes down to a minimum.
I'd rather have Avery Bradley run it.
Avery Bradley can't run an offense.
He ran an offense when he was in Boston.
Come on now. Kevin.
So that same playoff team that was in Boston that had no stars was run by Avery Bradley. Now he can't run an offense on the playoff team.
No, they're run by Isaiah Thomas. Isaiah Thomas ran that team.
He ran by Avery Bradley.
King of
Isaiah
the fourth.
Thomas ran the 2.
King of the fourth. Come on now. He led the league in fourth quarter scoring. He was top 5.
Fourth quarter what?
Scoring.
Thank you.
Offense ran through him. Bradley didn't run no offense.
Okay.
Don't give me that. He was not out there for offense. He's not out there on this Laker team for offense. He's a nice shooter. He might have some big games like he did against the Clippers where he's hot. But those are more one-offs. You're not running anything through Avery Bradley. If you are saying, I want Avery Bradley out there running the offense, I need to take your basketball card. Because you don't, bro, you can't. Avery Bradley's not running no offense.
Okay.
He's out there for defense and catch and shoot threes.
All right.
You don't think so?
No.
Well. Okay. I don't think we got the Nets side of things before we move on real quick because I feel like we've been going a little long and we got one more thing to talk about. Well, actually, 2. Dinwiddie, 23 points. LeVert, 22. Joe Harris, 12. This guy, Chioza, came off the bench and played pretty well. 11 points. And then Lawalu, I'm sure I'm butchering that name, Cabaret, he had 13 points. Outside of that, nobody else was in double figures for the Nets. And, yeah, I mean, the Lakers should have taken advantage of this game. This was a gimme, and
This could have helped us with the record, have the best record in the NBA.
that's where we're going next. That's where we're going next. Do you want to go there now?
I mean,
or do you have anything about the Nets? Because I don't have any. It's just I'm so disappointed, and
look, the Giannis is still out.
we don't know for how long though.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure he'll still be out until next week.
Okay, so I guess we'll just move into that next topic. I wanted to ask you: do you think the Lakers can catch the Bucks for the best overall record in the league? They were 2.5 games behind Milwaukee before tonight. They took the loss, so now they're 3 games back, but they're only back down 2 in the loss column. As Kevin said, Giannis is still hurt. The Bucks currently sit at 53-12. They have their playoff seeding locked up. Well, they have their playoff ticket locked up, I should say. Like, they're not going to fall out of the playoffs.
Yeah.
They're 6.5 up on Toronto, so that's a pretty comfortable lead. So it looks like they're going to get the 1 seed in the East.
Mm-hmm.
Giannis is still out. Do you know eventually they're going to start to rest some guys, so they might catch some losses? I don't know what their schedule is like, but they might catch a few losses at the end. In my initial way I was going to phrase this question to you was because before the Lakers beat the Bucks and Clippers, and this Giannis injury happened and everything, he hurt his knee, sprained knee against the Lakers, oddly enough. I was going to ask you initially, do you think the Lakers can get to 60 wins? I still think that's possible, but now I think the better question is, can they catch the Bucks for the best seed?
I think they'll catch the Bucks.
Because if they catch the Bucks, they're obviously going to surpass 60.
Yeah.
So
we're at 43 now?
49.
49?
Yeah.
Yeah. 11 games out of 20? Or 11 games out of 19?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
11 and 8. So I would say they're going to get to 60. Now, after they lost to Brooklyn, I don't know if they're going to catch the Nets, because this win against Brooklyn would did great things for that. They would have been 2 games back. And this is a real topic that we need to have, because the Bucks are presumably who's going to come out the East.
I don't know. I don't know if they're going to come out the East.
Who do you think's coming out the East then?
Um,
Because I think there's only one team in the East that can beat them.
Which team?
Miami. I think Miami matches up very well against them. I don't think Boston beats them. I don't think Toronto beats them.
I was going to say.
I don't think Philly beats them. I think the only team out East that can beat them is Miami. Now, that's not me saying the Miami Heat are going to the finals, because the Miami Heat match up very poorly against Boston. You get what I'm saying? So we kind of got to see how it shakes out.
Yeah.
But presumably,
Miami.
One would think Milwaukee is coming out of the East.
I don't know. I would bet my money on Miami.
I'm going to Vegas next month, so I might take you up on that. So, yes or no, do you think they catch the Bucks?
Yeah. They catch the Bucks.
See, I don't. After they lost tonight, I don't. Maybe it's just me living in the moment, and it's too... I haven't got a chance to step back.
Relax.
Stop living... You sound like an old man. Who gives advice that says don't live in the moment?
Hey, when you're a Laker, things are great right now.
How are the last 6 years?
Huh?
How the last 6 years been?
I'm not worried about the last 6 years. I'm worried about this year.
So you're living in the moment, right? And yet your advice to me is don't live in the moment.
I'm saying, like, pump the brakes, relax.
No.
Everything's going to be fine. Lakers make the playoffs, right? The Lakers officially are in the playoffs.
Do you remember earlier when I told you the sky was falling?
Yes.
Weeks ago.
And is the sky falling? Or did the Lakers officially make the playoffs?
I mean, the sky is falling in this circumstance.
Oh, my God.
They ain't catching the Bucks. We got to play Game 7 in Milwaukee. I mean, I'm not worried about it either. I'd like the home court. Kevin, I said we got to play Game 7 in Milwaukee, and he just looked at me like, and shrugged his shoulders like...
Like, we ain't playing Sacramento, like the old Sacramento days.
Where they bang cowbells.
Yes. We're not playing the Boston Celtics. We're not playing in Utah. We're not playing the Blazers. I mean...
Memphis is another bad place we have trouble with.
I'm good.
I don't think they catch them.
And if we have to play the Clippers, guess who's going to have more fans at the Clipper game?
Oh, duh. Did you hear this narrative that some national reporters think that the Clippers are starting to take over LA? Like, some national reporters are actually starting to, like, put in their work, like, oh, the Clippers are, look out for, they're taking over LA. Like,
that's hilarious. I know 2 Clipper fans. One personally and one on TV.
we know my brother, too. You've crossed paths with him a few times. Yeah, that's the only one I know.
I officially know 3 Clipper fans. I know hundreds of Laker fans.
Hey, shots fired. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, I did want, because I don't think I talked to you about this yet. The Forum. You know what's going on.
Oh,
how do you feel about it? Steve Ballmer is the owner of the Clippers. And he wants to move the team to Inglewood. James Dolan, the owner of the Knicks, technically owns Madison Square, or the Forum, because it's part of MSG. So some legal, financial, real estate loopholes or whatever, he was able to somehow block Steve Ballmer from building an arena in Inglewood. So Steve Ballmer's resolution to this was, I'll just buy the Forum from you. It must be nice to have $50 million, first of all. But
he's like, why don't you stop being a little and let me buy this little piece of property?
Yeah. So my concern is now, hold on, the Clippers owner is buying the Forum, where the Lakers started Showtime. Is so many Laker memories there. Mm-hmm. What if he buys it and moves the Clippers in there? Or what if he buys it and knocks it down and is just like, finger to the Laker? Like, how do you feel about this? Because I'm very, like...
I really don't care.
I'm peeved about it.
I don't care. I mean, it's petty, but I don't care.
So you're taking high road.
Whatever.
See, I'm not...
I mean, it's not like he's going to erase the Lakers championships. You got to win one. And then when you win one, they're going to be like, oh, great, you have one. Yes. Catch up.
I don't think the Lakers are catching the Bucks. I don't like Steve Ballmer buying the Forum. I'm just negative Nancy.
Yes, you are.
Negative Nancy.
I don't even care. I'm just like, whatever, bro.
See, I'm peeved about it. I'm not really upset, but it's that gray area between, like, I don't give a damn and I'm pissed off. Like, it's that fine line that kind of separates, like, so I'm kind of peeved. I don't really like it.
I mean, I really like the Lakers in downtown LA. Because now, I mean, Lakers in downtown LA, Dodgers right up the street, you know. Like,
yeah, I'm not saying the Lakers should move or anything, but it upsets me that he wants to take the Clippers to Inglewood.
Well, everybody's moving to Inglewood. Yeah. Well, the Chargers and the Rams.
Gentrification, yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
But then you want to go a step further and be like, I'm going to just buy your old arena. Like,
look.
I don't know. I'm petty. I don't. I don't want people trying to take what used to be mine or what I have memories with. Like, it's like that girlfriend who you still love.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say that.
It's like that ex-girlfriend.
I still like her. If things don't work out in my current relationship, I'm going back.
No, see, I'm not saying all that. Like, no, I'm not saying all that. Okay, but an analogy. I'm not saying I want to go back to any of my exes, but an analogy is like, for example, that one chick that you're still in love with that ain't with you anymore, that you have all these memories with, you get kind of jealous when you find out she got a new boyfriend.
Like, oh man, I took her to Hawaii. We had such a good time.
Yeah,
we had all those mimosas.
I'm gonna try and keep it PG. But like, that's the gist of it. It's like the form is that ex-girlfriend that you're still in love with because you have all those great memories, those times, and everything like that. It's that sentiment. And now you see another dude, Steve Ballmer, coming in and whisking her away, and now they're gonna live like
can't buy love. Can't buy love, and that's all I see him doing, trying to buy love. He's like, oh, you can't do this? I'll just buy it. Oh, you can't do this? I'll just buy it. Like, just keep on trying to buy it.
You're about to buy a championship in the next 5 years.
It's never worked.
You can't compare him to Donald Sterling.
Dang.
That's just wrong.
It's never worked.
Bro, why you want to compare anybody to Donald Sterling? Like, you and me could have read the Clippers better than that. Like, and... my 11-year-old son could have read the Clippers better than Donald Sterling. Like,
hey,
you can't compare the two.
Yankees used to try and buy championships.
They have 27 of them mugs.
Yeah, but they won more championships when they actually built the team rather than just trying to buy a championship.
Also, completely different sport.
Mm-hmm.
Superstar does not have the same impact in baseball as it does in basketball.
Yeah. But, they have so many superstars now that you have too many superstars trying to touch the same doggone ball. What they should have tried to get if they were going to buy. If they were going to try and acquire anyone, they should have acquired an elite point guard. That would have made them deadly.
They have one. We have two. Sometimes I just like to say things together.
If they wouldn't, let me put it this way: if the Clippers would have acquired Chris Paul, I would have been afraid of them. You're not a Chris Paul fan?
Oh, I love Chris Paul.
Oh,
one of my favorite all-time players.
Chris Paul would have made them deadly.
I'm not shaking my head about the fit or anything. I'm shaking my head because one, he ain't going back there. And two, there's no way in hell they make the money work.
Yeah. But I'm saying, look, if you wanted to buy a championship, that's how you buy it. You have Paul George, you have Kawhi Leonard, you put Chris Paul back there and let him manage everything, and watch Montrezl Harrell grow. Jesus Christ. I just made a team.
Try to get that money to work. Let me know how that works out for you.
Let me know what the rest. I will buy your contract myself.
let me know how the rest of your team fills out, because you got Kawhi, PG, Chris Paul. Ooh, you got a bunch of vet minimums.
Mm-hmm.
Good luck doing that with the buyout market.
What are the Lakers doing?
We didn't put this roster together halfway through the year.
And who has the number one record? Who has the number one seed?
We didn't put this roster together
I'm just
in
saying.
the middle of the year, Kevin.
Look.
Who's on the buyout market right now? They can't even touch on the China players because the Chinese basketball league is going to resume.
Chinese players?
Well, that's the buyout market. You look at players from different leagues.
I know, but I'm
so
saying,
if they would have made a mid-season trade,
a decent team is not going to look at the Chinese league. A decent team is going to look at someone who got bought out from an NBA team.
Where are you going then? J.R. Smith, Joakim Noah, Jamal Crawford. These are the best names, bro. That's not good enough. Yes, you have 3 superstars. I'm saying, but what's the rest of it look like? Now you got 6 players on your roster.
I'm saying the Lakers have a lot of vet minimums, and we're doing fine.
But we were able to
just fine.
The point I'm making is when we put our roster together in the summer, those players that are on the free agent market, even though they took a vet minimum, are a lot better than the players that you're getting for the vet minimum on the buyout market just because of the surplus. You get what I'm saying? There's no Danny Green on the buyout market. There's no Avery Bradley. So it's about the timing of when they put it together.
Yes.
So if they made a midseason trade, one, they would probably have to give up Trez anyways.
No. I was referring to the Clippers.
Yeah.
I was saying, like, if that's what they should have done.
Okay, but play that out. They want Chris Paul from OKC.
Mm-hmm.
They're a playoff team. Okay, what are you giving us? We want some actual return.
They had picks.
Yeah. That's another thing. They already have all the Clippers picks. So now you basically got to do it with just players, right? So where do you think the Thunder are going to start?
That's probably where they should have started.
Well, first of all, we want Montrezl Harrell and Lou Williams.
That's probably where they should have started.
Then we're going to take Landry Shamet. I know you don't value him, but
no, I don't.
We're going to take him. And then guess what?
Because he's a
Zubac.
defensive liability.
Yeah. So now the more players that they take from you, even to just make the money match, what does your roster look like now? So now you have 5 players on your roster. Now you're looking at the buyout market. Like I said, guys like Joakim Noah, Jamal Crawford, J.R. Smith. Even if you got all 3 of them, how many players do you have? 9?
I'm saying.
And that's not a very deep 9 to begin with.
No, think about this. Look, and you just play it out. If Kawhi would have signed with the Clippers and they would have tried to trade for Chris Paul instead of trading for Paul George, they might be better off. Because
But all those
other pieces work.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. It's more seamless and they complement each other better.
Yeah.
But the reason why Kawhi came to the Clippers, he gave them a list before he signed.
I know.
I don't know who all was on it, but Paul George was on it.
As we said
Chris
before,
Paul wasn't.
Professional sports athletes sometimes don't know how to value talent.
Okay.
Just like how Michael Jordan just happened to draft Kwame Brown, and then 10 minutes later said he's the worst basketball player he's ever seen. You drafted him, bro.
Number 1 overall. Straight out of high school.
I'm like...
And then he came to the Lakers, and all you heard was about how his hands are undersized.
His hands were small, bro.
And he had butterfingers, and like Kobe would dump the ball out to him and try to do it like how he used to do with Shaq. Yeah. And Kwame, what do I do? Can't catch the ball. Like I thought these Laker players have a problem catching the ball.
No.
Kwame was like nothing I ever saw before.
Ever.
All right. You want to get to predictions? We kind of going a little bit long.
Yeah, it's going pretty long.
All right. So next 3 games, as we normally do, that'll take us to Monday. So we got...
Oh, my God. I'm sorry. I'm looking at the rest of that draft. I'm going to mention, like, 4 names.
Okay.
4 names. Like, so Michael Jordan drafted Kwame Brown, right? Mm-hmm. Number 2 overall, Tyson Chandler.
Yep.
That could have been a good pick. Number 3 overall.
Who?
Paul Gasol.
To Memphis.
Oh, messed up. Number 10, Joe Johnson. That would have been a good pick.
Joe Johnson was a scorer. He was nice. Yeah. Especially in Phoenix.
Yeah. Oh. They should have won. Number 19, Zach Randolph.
Zebo.
I'm going to skip 25, Jared Wallace. 28, Tony Parker.
But see, at least in the case of Tony Parker and Pau Gasol, that was in the early 2000s. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, Euros didn't.
Was soft. Uh-huh. Okay, number 31, Gilbert Arenas.
What he turned into.
Those were your choices.
Nobody believed in Gilbert Arenas, though.
And you took Kwame Brown.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, I mean, don't you hold workouts?
Yeah, we get it. We get it. We keep trashing Michael Jordan. That's probably why we can't get anybody.
I'm just saying. Bro, you got a track record. It's pretty long.
So the next 3 games, we got our next game Thursday against Houston at home. After that, it's Sunday at home against Denver.
Loving these home games.
And then Monday at Utah. I kind of wish they would have flipped the 2 Utah games so we could have just stayed at home and then,
Yeah.
But those are the next 3. After tonight's loss, I think they're going to be upset. I think they're going to go 3-0.
I'm going 3-0. And I think they're going to really go after Houston. Because Houston,
last time.
Yeah, because Houston's first game doing the small ball was against us.
Yeah.
So everybody
Maybe,
was
yes.
a little unfamiliar with it, but I'm pretty sure Vogel's got it.
See, I think they're going to go harder after Denver just because Denver's closer to them in the standings, and they want to continue to send that message to Denver. It's like, yo, y'all can't touch us. But, yeah, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. That's this week's episode of the podcast. And forgive us for the uploads. YouTube has kind of been messing with us, so we're trying to figure that out as far as how to keep them up. Because I'm constantly having to go re-upload them like every other day. And yeah, I'll talk to you about it afterwards. But for all those out there listening, we are going to perfect this and get it down. But as always, that's what we got for this week. And hopefully next week we'll come back 3-0, 1 week closer to playoffs, and I can't wait. This is Adam.
This is Kevin.
And everybody have a good night. We've been going long enough. Thank you for listening. Hit the like and subscribe button.